Hello friends, my name is Shilpa Kakkar. I am from M.B.Patel English Medium Secondary and Higher Secondary School. Today, I have come up with chapter number 6 of History, the economic impact of company rule. This is the third part. In earlier sessions, I had discussed with you regarding the collapse in traditional economy, the plight of the artisans and craftsmen, the revenue policies adopted by Britishers, those were the permanent settlement system, Ryotwari system and Mahalwari system and its effects. Now, in this session, we'll discuss the stagnation of Indian agriculture during British rule, industrial development during the British rule, and conditions of the farmer and the public, poverty and famines in India during the British rule. Let us discuss about the stagnation of Indian agriculture during the British rule. Agriculture has been the mainstay of Indian economy. The prosperity and future of India and Indians depend only on agriculture. If there is a good crop, the farmers become very happy and we can see the prosperity all around. India is an agrarian country. But if there is drought, famine, flood, then there would be lack of good crop, which leads to the deterioration, starvation, and the economy also collapse. Up to the 18th century, there was balance between agriculture and home industry. India became well developed in agriculture and craft-based industries. It gained prestigious place in the world. But the Britishers ruined craft-based industries, and due to that, the workers became unemployed. When they could not meet their demands, they tried to enter into agriculture. But there was very little scope. The farmers were also tortured by Britishers. Farmers were affected by the tax policies of the British. With that, there was population explosion also. India's national income, India's national economy, international trade, industrial sector, etc. were dependent on Indian agriculture. But due to the unjust revenue policies of the British, Indian economy could not survive. Britishers never thought of Indian farmers. Their aim was to get more money, more wealth, and more taxes. The government policies of agriculture, trade and industry ruined the farmers, zamindars, artisans, and businessmen. All these things, the different policies, Cornwallis introduced permanent settlement system, Thomas Munro made some changes and ruined Rohitwari system. Due to that, the farmers many a times failed to pay taxes. After that, they had to sell their jewelries, even they have to sell their lands because they were indebted. Many farmers were trapped in the interest system. Corruption also harassed these farmers. The Indian agriculture became a means of business because of British economic policies. Rich people developed gardens for farming of tea, coffee, indigo, jute. Special crops were produced to sell in the market. In place of grains, cash crops like cotton, jute, groundnut, sugarcane, tobacco, oilseeds, indigo farming was promoted. In British government in India, they gave importance for trade and that led to the ruination of the agriculture based industry also. So we could see that there was no such progress and development in the field of agriculture, and that is why the condition was becoming and it became worst day by day during the British rule. The next point is industrial development in India. In India, the major industries in 19th century were jute, cotton textile, iron and steel, paper and leather. These were considered as prime sources of income for the nation. But till the end of the 19th century, the development of these industries gradually slowed down because of the government's interference. The British government was protecting its own industries, but India wanted to once again prosper the textile industry. Rapidly, India developed in the field of cotton industry. In 1818, the first Indian mill was established in Kolkata. Then, later on, in 1854, the cotton mill was established in Mumbai. Later, another cotton textile mill in Ahmedabad was established by Ranchod Lal Chota Lal in 1861. After this, cotton textile started at different places in other areas of India. Ahmedabad became Manchester of India with 108 cotton textile mills. With the beginning of the Swadeshi movement in 1905, Indian industries, especially cotton industries, gained significant benefits. Because of that, cotton industries were established at many places. But Britishers did not stop harassing these industries. In 18th century, protected industrial policy and in 19th century, free trade policy, these two policies were implemented by the British. Though both the policies were against each other, yet they were implemented in such a way that that benefited England and ruined India. To ruin Indian industries, the import duty on goods was removed in 1860. After that, the first of jute weaving industry started with the economic support of British. In 1911, Jamshedji Tata established iron factory, and in 1907 in Vadodara the Alembic chemical works began, and with that other industries like paper, tobacco, silk and leather, such industries started, and starting the progress also. Mahatma Gandhi gave encouragement to weaving and small scale industries and crafts to remove poverty and unemployment from India. He never opposed machines, but he opposed the mania for machines. For the development of industries, researchers in science play a major role. J.R.D. Tata had started the Indian Institute of Science. He also tried to set up industries for making aeroplane, but British rulers did not give them permission. Yet, in the first half of the 20th century, especially during the Second World War, there was a notable increase in industries. Chemical industry and shipmaking industries began on small scale. Despite heavy taxes imposed by government, they earned remarkable profit. So it was impossible for the British rulers to stop industrial revolution in India. And after independence, on 15th August 1947, the government started welfare scheme for industries. So again, India became known as the country of agriculture and industries. Poverty and famine. These are the part and parcel of life. But if the government is good and taking care of the farmers, then it becomes easy for the farmers to face these problems. But the Britishers did not pay heed to the cry of the farmers, which ruined many lives. Many people died of starvation. The poverty found its culmination in a series of famines during the British rule, especially in the second half of the 19th century. In the earlier years of the company rule, famines occurred, but no steps were taken to help the people. More than 20 lakhs of lives were lost because of starvation during different times. People died in numbers, but Viceroy Curzon, Sir Lawrence, Canning, all these people, they did not take any step to relieve the poor people from such condition. During the Viceroy Linton's time, under the government's famine policy, considerable amount of money was spent on famine relief. In spite of this, 50 lakh people died. 20 lakh hectares of land remained uncultivated, and the government had to let go the revenue of rupees 2.5 crores. Even though this committee recommended some measures to help the people of the affected areas. They provided some employment to able persons, helped the disabled, provided loans to purchase seeds, and they waived off the taxes also. And that is why Viceroy Lytton became known as the maker of the famine policy. Later on, relief measures were adopted by as per the policy, and many people were helped. But these famines led to the loss of many lives and caused poverty in India. So students, here we end with this chapter, the impact of companies' rule on India. We have learned that British different revenue policies, but ultimately they ruined the agriculture, craft-based industries, small-scale industries for their own benefit. We have learned that India still it is an agrarian country, but at that time no steps were taken during the famines and droughts that led to the pitiable condition of the common man. And because of poverty and starvation, many people died. Students, these things carried on till very late. People could not gather. They did not have the courage to revolt against these British. Even though they were handful, but we had the traitors with us. We had the people amongst us who were in favor of the British. They were influenced by the lifestyle of those British, and that is why they were supporting them. And because of that, our only people suffered a lot during that time. Students, we end this chapter over here. Read the text carefully for better understanding. Thank you.